Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Green Room Podcast. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. No hat today, Colin?
I
No
haven't
hat?
worn a hat. I only wore a hat on one podcast since I've been bald.
I was gonna ask you. So you've been going to like Christmas dinners and parties and
I went to
whatnot.
the first one yesterday.
You've been going to a lot of them, and I just want to know, when people see you, do they ask where your hair is?
No, everyone that I've seen, they have known about the bet,
They knew
so
about it.
they did know about it. Because they're like, it somehow gets brought up in conversation. Also, it's a good it's if you
Icebreaker.
have nothing to talk about, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go bald, So
So that was your icebreaker before it happened,
yeah,
and
and
now
now
that it's
now it's a
happened,
thing. Yeah,
now they all know about it.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people I found out are cowards and said I would have just paid him so I wouldn't have to do it. And I was like, why?
I would have taken a monetary payment as
How
the
much?
bet.
How much would it have taken you?
Well, if you
Because
have,
they're like, give him $20. I was like, there's no
oh
way.
no,
There's no way $20
I
gets
was
it
I
done.
was debating with myself if 50 would do it, but then I thought, we need, I still love content and I love doing this for fun, and I don't think 50 would have got
50 is not
done.
enough. If you were to do it, I'd say $200.
Okay, no, I think 100 would have done it for me. 100,
No,
I would have
that's
been like,
not
all right,
enough.
you can go
That's
like
not
eat the
enough.
chip or something.
Also $100. You're kind of taking the coward's way out. It's just your hair, it's gonna grow back.
You would have had to do something else still. Also, let's talk about
Oh yeah, then it's really not worth it at
like
all.
you would have had to go eat the chip or something.
The chip on $100, it's like the chip's fine, and then you're just getting kicked in the nuts
Yeah.
afterward. Yeah, no, not
So
happening.
that's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
Um. All right. We have a lot to talk about. For those watching this on YouTube, this will be obviously we post our videos now in two separate parts, or however many parts we're talking about that episode. This is the basketball episode, and then we will talk recruiting and signing day on a separate YouTube video. So check that out as well. If you're listening on the audio side, thank you, and that's going to be the breakdown today. So Monday morning podcast for y'all. We wanted to get on here, and yeah, we're gonna talk about the basketball team again. All right,
great.
everybody, just buckle in, sit down, and just listen. Just listen to us, because this is now. I don't know what we're gonna put on the thumbnail of this, because the last two have been what, frustrated and all those different synonyms. This one, it felt a little different to me, obviously, because North Texas didn't have a chance the way that it had a chance in the other four losses. But North Texas loses to Mississippi State 72-54 in a game where it led 22-12 before it all came crumbling down and Mississippi State took a lead going to half. Where do you want to start?
I want to get started with the fact that Mississippi State is by far their best opponent this year. They're 36 in Ken Palm. I don't know if they are now. I don't know how much they would have gone up after beating North Texas. Yeah, they were up 22-12. They were up to 30-22, Bruni. Then they proceeded to score two more times in the first half with 4 minutes left, and ended up going to half at 30, or I think it was one more time, 32-36. And after that, North Texas proceeded to get outscored a lot. I don't remember the exact number, but since 402 in the first half, I believe it was 39-12 or something, like 32-9 is what it was at some point in the second half. And I was like, how can this be what the average has been over the course of however many games they played thus far? I mean, the first half, they shot great. I'm trying to get first half stats in front of me. I can't. Oh, there we go. First half, 13-24. Great. 54%. 5 of 13 from 3, 38%. Great. Amazing. You had 9 turnovers, but you feel pretty good. Mississippi State's a really good team. You just want to clean some of those up.
Yeah.
Second half, you go 5 of 23 from the field, 21%. You go 0 of 11 from 3, and you turn the ball over 7 times. And you didn't. And turnovers are actually better because you didn't start turning it over really bad until the end of the second half. But I don't get this. What, like, when Mississippi State started coming back And they, even when they cut it to 30-22, you could kind of feel something. I was texting you. I was like, this is, it's very important to see how they respond here. I think
Yeah.
Mississippi State went on 2 4-0 runs, and North Texas got like a free throw or something like that. I don't really remember. And how they respond? Well, they proceeded to get outscored by a lot over the course of the game. I mean, they didn't score a field goal until, or they didn't get their first points in the second half till 16 minutes. And I think they were Jason Edwards free throws.
Yeah.
I don't get how this team cannot make open shots, one. And two, whenever adversity hits in any way, like, and when I say that, I don't mean like if it's bad adversity or good adversity. Whenever, whether it's a team going on a run or you stop scoring, they can't get themselves. It doesn't seem like out of the mentality to get out of it, and I don't know where that is. You might have better insight on that, but that's just what I see.
This was, like I said, the first game where it felt like it was, well, it was out of hand. And to your point, I think that was kind of the disappointing part because we saw the first half and how good it was, but it didn't feel like super sustainable. They were hitting threes, and while I thought they were generating good looks, it didn't feel like they were in control of the game. Like Fordham, I actually thought they were, that first half, they were in control of the game. And
Yeah,
you go down the list of games, I thought Boise State, in the second half, they controlled the game. And there's a lot of times throughout this year where they've controlled the game. I never thought, even with that 10-point lead, 8-point lead, that they were in control against Mississippi State. Um, I look at this team in a few ways. Ruben deserves a shout out. 20
yeah,
points, 6 of 11 shooting. Did have 5 turnovers, which is bleak, but still, he at least was able to score the ball, and this team just in general continues to struggle to score the ball. Um, so shout out to Ruben for doing that. Aaron Scott, 10 points, 4 of 10 shooting. John Buggs, 1 of 7. Nolan, 3 of 5. So good for him. And Jason Edwards, 3 of 10, 11 points. The question I think I have here is, how much can Rondell Walker help? And we've talked about this in a couple podcasts, but like, he's a defender. He's a guy who was able to be effective at Oklahoma State as a freshman. I don't know what Rondell Walker provides, but I'm tired of these lineups with Bugs and Nolan. And no offense to those two, because I think they're not bad players. They deserve to be in the rotation, but they don't add anything substantial at this moment. You have Aaron Scott, you have Reuben Jones, and you have Jason Edwards. Those are the 3 guys that are creating on offense right now.
yeah,
And they even are limited in a way. Like, they're not, guys that are getting their shots at will. Obviously, they've been kind of inefficient this year. So my question is, does Rondell Walker come in and start? Does he come in and play 25 minutes, or how long is it? Because he wouldn't have won this game for North Texas, but we at least would have been able to see him and be like, okay, this is how he works in here. But either he's not ready, which is alarming, or he doesn't think, or Ross Hodge doesn't think maybe he's good enough. I don't know what the answer is right now, but
yeah,
they need a shakeup. They need a shakeup in the worst way, and I'm not sure where that comes from. Yeah, I don't know. I still think Jason Edwards is the best offensive player on this team, and I'm honestly, at this point, I think he needs to start, and I think he needs to play
yeah.
a ton of minutes. And I know I say that after a 3 of 10 performance, but like, there's just, they need a consistent threat on the court that can score, and he's their only hope.
Yeah, I mean, because, well, he's the only one that I feel like is a really can create his own shot, like you said, off the bounce. Or not off the bounce, sorry, with the ball in his hand.
And maybe if you play him with Ruben, maybe it opens up Ruben in a way, or maybe it
Yeah,
can open up Aaron Scott in a way. Like, a lot of time he's on the court with Matt Stone, right? Sometimes he's on the court with both or one
and
of Nolan and Bugs.
we're
What?
talking about Matt Stone. Matt Stone got basically kind of benched for Christian Moore in the second half.
That's the thing. I'm gonna start getting mad. Rondell Walker is better than Matthew Stone. All right. I'm tired of Matthew Stone being on the court for 16 minutes and going 0 for 2, 0 for 0, 0 for 1 with
Oh, and getting blown by.
and getting killed on defense sometimes. Like 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 turnover, 0 blocks, 0 steals in 16 minutes,
Yeah.
0 free throws. That is unacceptable. It was borderline unacceptable when JJ Murray was doing it, but JJ Murray is a hell of a lot better than Matthew Stone.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't 16 minutes of 0 can't happen. I'm about to say that with Mulai Sissoko, 23 minutes with 0 for 1 from the field is borderline unacceptable. But I actually thought he started the game pretty well. Sissoko did. And so I know he's just kind of a placeholder, but their 5 position is a major concern right now. They just ended a game, Colin, where between those two, they had 40 minutes. They finished 1 of 2 from the field with, what is that? 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
The 5 position, scoring creation, and not having wing depth is a major concern right now. And so that's where you hope Rondell Walker can at least alleviate the third concern and be like, all right, Rondell, just try to be better than what Nolan and Bugs have been so far this year. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, you can bring Bugs or Nolan off the bench. And I think that's a really, really good bench player. But they can't start on a good AAC team.
So what's your ideal starting lineup?
Ideal? Reuben Jones, Jason Edwards, Rondell Walker, Aaron Scott. I don't know if Robert Allen can. I mean, the center position is such a wash for me at this point.
Swap them in out. Doesn't matter.
I would prefer Robert Allen 23 minutes, Sissoko 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Sissoko starting. It's just Allen is obviously has a higher upside offensively. Like he just does. He has a better feel for the game, which we know. So like, I think right now the urgency has to be on offense. The urgency has to be how are we figuring out the offense? Because the defense is what it is. The defense actually dropped a decent amount in Ken Palm with this loss. They dropped down to 47th, but the offense is 161. We're like we're almost in the bottom half of the country offensively at this point. So
Yeah.
the pace is down to 360th in the country. So we're right back to where we've been the last 4 years. The turnovers are too high. So I'm just saying I would like Jason Edwards to be starting with Reuben Jones. I want those two to play. And in conference play, I'm not sure how much they should even come off the court unless they're in foul trouble. Like
Yeah.
we're approaching that level
Yeah.
and that level of urgency to where, all right, and I know it was a blowout, but Reuben Jones 26 minutes, Aaron Scott 25 minutes, and I know they had fouls too. Another thing, they need to stop fouling. It's the reason they've lost games is because they've been in freaking foul trouble and they can't close out games. I need those two to be on the court. Reuben, Aaron, and Jason Edwards should be on the court 33 minutes plus every game from here on out. Obviously,
Mhm.
blowouts pending, but like they need to be playing a ton, and then you need to figure out the rest. Just rotate them in for 20 minutes a game and hope Rondell can give you something. Because Matthew Stone at being your 7th or 8th man playing 16 minutes is ridiculous. Just cut the fat and give them to your stars and tell them stay out of freaking foul trouble.
Yeah. I think outside of the lineup concerns, I don't know how they keep missing open shots when they have good looks after they start perfectly fine. Like I made a point that they only shot I think 3 threes last game. They shot 11 threes yesterday in the second half.
They shot 3 threes last
Three
game.
threes last second half, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Last game second half is what I meant.
Yeah.
And they go 0 of 11 in the second half of this game. They can't buy a bucket except for Reuben.
Yep.
Why can't they make open shots? To you?
I don't think there's Colin, it's basketball.
No, I know,
When
but it's
we
like
go to the park and you miss open shots, why is it?
well, I'm also not good.
Well, that's the answer, Colin. And I'm not saying they're not good players, but you want answers of why players are missing shots? Why do the Pistons miss shots, Colin? Why do anybody that
Yeah.
loses the game miss shots? It's consistently, that is.
Yeah.
Consistently missing shots. And they are like they're not a bad shooting team. Like they're 35% from 3 on the season, but I do think that's inflated in their bad games or in their blowout wins. Like, I think
Yeah.
that is definitely inflated. They went 10 of 23 against Mississippi Valley State. Um, 9 of 23, which is still 40% against Angelo State. Didn't they light it up against Towson? No, I'm tripping. 6 of 20 against Towson. But I'm just looking at the wins over like non-competitive teams. 8 of 20, 40% against Nebraska Omaha. So there's 3 games right there where they were over 40%. And I know, what was it, Boise or something like that? They shot the ball well. I don't know. It's a good Mississippi State defense. I'll give them that. It's a road game. I'll give them that. They just played back to back to back road games, Boise State, Fordham, and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
But it's not really an excuse. This is what's the stat, Colin? They say on the broadcast all the time. This is a North Texas program that has the most road wins or something like that, or one of the best road records in the country of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, they have now gone they're 1-5 away from home this year. And the thing is, they haven't even been scheduling true road games besides Boise State. It was neutral St. John's, neutral LSU, away Boise State, neutral Fordham, and neutral Mississippi State. And I know Mississippi State and Fordham were technically road games, but still, you're just losing those games. So, yeah, I don't have an answer why they're missing threes. They have not lived up to expectations shooting wise.
Here's something too as we get into conference play after UT Arlington. SMU is beating or playing good with really good teams. They just beat Florida State,
Yeah.
and earlier they played Dayton and they only lost by 2. And Dayton's turning out to be a really good team.
I think the Wisconsin loss is actually decent too. Wisconsin and the
Uh,
A&M losses were decent. I watched the Arizona State game. They lost by 2 on the road to Arizona
yeah.
State. Yeah,
Then
they're
you already
good.
get to Memphis. You already know what Memphis is. They beat
Yep.
A&M and Clemson the last 2 games. And then Tulane, they're also not terrible. They're not amazing, but they're also
I'm
not terrible. I mean,
they
right now they're better than North Texas.
yeah.
They also played Mississippi State and lost by 30, but they also beat Fordham. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't. It's weird because we're not used to watching this team struggle like this over the course of the last 7 years.
Well, we can wrap it up with we have seen this program start slow. We
Yes,
have seen
yes,
this program
but
start.
like you said, this kind of feels a little bit different because you don't know necessarily what the fix is, right? In the past, you're like, oh, like when they struggled with Javion that year, Javion will be better. When Javion first came, conference came, and he was amazing. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess this is the guy that they wanted. So maybe that happens, right? Maybe conference starts and all of a sudden they get really good. But I don't know if that can happen twice. And in the past, you had a 5. You don't have a 5 right now.
The
In the
5 is
past,
slow.
you had a wing player. You don't really have, wing players right now. And I don't think, I mean, Bugshot won a 7, but I don't think he's the main issue on this team in terms
He
of
played 33 minutes though, didn't he?
he did play 33
I
minutes.
I think he's a fine player. 33 minutes is a lot. That's where you need Rondell Walker. Him,
Yeah.
Nolan, and Walker should just be rotating.
Yeah.
They should just none of them should be over 25 minutes at the most,
Yeah.
at the very most. And whoever's playing well, keep them out there. Like
Yeah.
that's where you add a player that can help you like depth wise. I'm looking at it now. Javion Hamlet's first year, which you can compare it to. Man, they were so bad this year. What was this? 1-3, 2-3, 2-5, 3-5, 3-6, 4-6, 4-7. Javion's first year,
Well, remember
and
we were like, oh, okay, I
he
guess
was
this team's not going to be
awful.
good. Yeah,
He
he
was
was really bad.
4.44, 9, 10, 13, 9, 8, 18, 10, 2 were Javion's numbers through the
Yeah.
first 10 games that year. And then obviously he went crazy in conference. So yeah, that's going to be the interesting thing is can they turn it around the way that 2020 team did? The difference is that 2020 team ranked 34th, finished the year 34th in the country in offense. Javion Hamlet, Mo Gibson, Zach Simmons, Thomas Bell, James Reese, Dangu, DJ Draper.
Yeah.
Roosevelt Smart.
Rose was on that team.
Yeah,
I
he
can't. Oh
wasn't good.
yeah, I remember he was on the bench.
He wasn't good, but he was on the team. And I say it wasn't good. He did his thing. 36% from three. But anyways, is there enough? Is this team as talented as this team as the 2020 team? No, but I think they can be competitive in a similar way.
Yeah.
I honestly, dude, I'm really not 100% out on this team yet.
I'm not either because I feel like the shooting has to get there. I feel like it has to get there. Like you can't shoot 56%. What did I say? 56% in the first half from the field, 54% and 38. We'll say 40% from three, basically, and then just shoot basically almost zero
Like
in the
literally,
second
I
half.
think they've shown enough flashes to be like, all right, if they can sustain this, you beat LSU, you beat Boise, and you beat Fordham. Like there's a legitimate case here to where those four losses, two of them, three of them are wins, and we're looking at
Yeah,
the season very different.
yeah,
But and so yeah, the late game stuff needs to be better in those losses, which we've talked about at length. And then we'll see how the offense comes around. Can Ross Hodge and this coaching staff get the offense right? Can they make shots? Can they figure out what lineups to use? Can they put Rondell Walker back or on this team? So I really am not out. The only concern I have is the fact that the American is significantly better than what they'd usually be going into in Conference USA, right?
yeah.
Like if Conference USA would have been much easier than
And
what
their
they're
first
about
game is
to have.
Wichita State, right? If I remember,
What was that?
their first conference game is
Yeah,
Wichita
Wichita
State.
State on the road, and then Tulane at home. 2 games right there. Very, very tough. So, yeah, it's a little bleak, but I'm really not completely out yet because I've seen too many flashes at this moment. They're not getting their brains kicked in these games.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. They have to win closer games. That's still the main talking point to me.